Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Absolver on the GeForce GTX 1050 2GB. For FPS margin, I'll be using CAM. If you want to download this software, there's a link down in the description. And if you enjoy the content and want to support the channel directly, there's a link to the Patreon page down in the description as well. So Absolver, I'll be doing 1080p, 900p, 720p and 1440p. To skip none of those sections of the video, check the description below. So first I'll show you 1080p, trying to get 60 frames per second, and it will be possible to be close to that target by lowering the settings. The game likes to drop the frame rate on some very specific parts, so I just managed to be over 50 frames per second the majority of the time, which in my opinion is still smooth enough. Then I'll crank up the settings to ultra to see what result we get, and then I'll do the same for 900p and I'll try to lower the settings, trying to target 50 to 60 frames per second. And then I'll just max the game out. And then on 720p, by using ultra settings, it was already possible to be pretty much over 50 frames per second, so I didn't bother lowering the settings. I didn't try a different CPU since it was pretty much the same using a better one. You'll start noticing a difference if your target frame rate is pretty much over 80 frames per second so far. So this game was made using Unreal Engine 4 and it has a 62 frames per second cap. I show how to unlock the frame rate at the end of the video just by editing a config file, but personally I recommend just keeping it capped at that frame rate. If you are fine with 60 frames per second, the game just feels way more consistent with the cap enabled. It has all the usual graphics options from Unreal Engine 4 games, so the ones that I will lower first are shadows, effects and post-processing. Those usually make the biggest performance difference. The other options I didn't mention should be lowered in groups, except in textures, if you want to make a noticeable difference in performance. And you can also turn off shadows, but for some reason I wasn't able to turn off screen space reflections. That would really benefit performance if we were able to remove it, but for some reason there's no option to do so. The places where I saw the biggest drops in performance were the central hub, from where you travel to different levels. All the detail into the distance seems to be what lowers the frame rate. Places with foliage, water and reflections can also hit the GPU big time. While fighting, the characters tend to make some effects as well, so if you're fighting more than 3 characters at once, it can have an impact in performance. So I found this part early on into the game that has reflections, water, some foliage, fighters plus some distant detail. Since the beginning of the game ran like 20 frames per second over what you see here in some parts. So if you find a more demanding place, please let me know down in the comments and I will update the description. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you keep enjoying the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.